Evening everybody, and welcome to another Arcadia Roundtable, where it's just myself and Luke, and all of you in the audience, of course, but you can't talk in this same direct way as Luke can. Luke, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. It's a lot of games coming out, and I don't have anywhere near as much time to play them as I would like. And then certain games are dominating all my time, so that's good. But otherwise, I'm good. How are you?
Do you know what? I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. I need a bit of time to prepare an answer to any given question, and that one was unexpected. So I'll answer a bit later on. Give it 20 minutes or so of prep time. I'll think about how I'm doing on a very deep level, and maybe I'll give you an answer at that point in time.
Lovely.
But yeah. So for those that don't know, this is the Arcadia Roundtable. We talk about all kinds of things going on in the gaming world and just have if JT were here, he would say a jolly time. And I'm going to pinch that from him and say we're going to have a jolly time talking about all of the things. We always start off talking about what we've been playing, which is kind of my favourite part, right? More so than any of the gaming news that you can talk about. My favourite part is always just to get into the kind of nitty gritty of the games themselves. That's what the hobby's all about. And we're going to start straight away with that. Luke, it's been a couple of weeks. What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I have been playing Arc Raiders, which we can talk about in more detail shortly. I'm still playing Ghost of Yotai. I think I'm not too far from finishing that now. I'm probably about 80% through the game, something like that.
Do you know what? I'm going to do a terrible job of hosting and ask you about the Predator movie. I don't know why. You've got the Predator, like a version of the Predator blurred out in your background. Your camera's got it just out of focus, but I can see that it's there, and it's definitely it's cut in that fine silhouette of a Predator. I know that you went to see the new one at the cinema, right? So we'll do the games. It's my favourite part, but I'm really curious. It's just on my mind and I can't not ask. How did you find that?
Yeah. So this happy fellow is the Jungle Hunter. So that he's the Predator from the first film.
I see.
But so that's him. And yeah, I went to see Predator Badlands yesterday. So I mean, by virtue of the fact that I've got a gigantic Predator statue, it probably explains that I'm a massive fan. It's probably like my favorite action franchise, I would say, more so than a lot of other big ones. Just because it's super cool, and I have a lot of kind of nostalgia for the first film and the second film.
And it doesn't hurt you what they've done in subsequent films?
No, I mean, well, I don't know. Predators was weak. The Predator was really bad. Prey was a really good return to form, but it was just, it was the formula of the original Predator film, but just in a different time period. And it's Dan Trachtenberg, who I think is doing that. He's become a bit like the Kevin Feige of
Is that how you say that? Feige?
Yeah,
I've been saying Phage for all these years.
Yeah, Phage, like beige. Yeah, it's Feige apparently. So, but yeah, he's become except Trachtenberg's also writing and directing these films, and so he took control of and did Prey, and then they did Predator: Killer of Killers. I don't know if you've seen that. That's the animated film that came out earlier this year, which is sort of like like 3 stories in one. It's just kind of, a predator goes back to different time periods, basically. So you've got like a samurai one and like a Viking one.
So it's educational.
It's educational, yeah, very educational. And then they did Badlands, which has just come out, which it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. It's very different from the other films. I don't know how much you've seen in the media of it, but there's a Yauta in this called Deck, and he's the protagonist. So a predator is the protagonist of the film. There are no humans in it, although there's Elle Fanning who plays a synthetic, because it does take place somewhere in the universe of Alien as well. So they've kind of melded that. And it's a really strange film because it seems like they just went, we don't want to do, like, it would be continually boring if we did that same formula of, Predator comes to Earth and ultimately is defeated by, a smart, strong human who manages to outwit it. So they just didn't do that at all. And they instead made more of an action buddy cop, slightly funny, but also weirdly touching tale of a young predator looking to become a member of a clan, basically. So they've done things that I've never seen a Predator film do, and I didn't really know it would be possible to make a Predator film with a Yauta as a protagonist and have some emotional core to it. Like, it just seemed like that would never be possible if you'd asked me like 20 years ago. But they pulled it off, and it's really, really fun. It's very fun. So I really would recommend people see it.
I think I'm still in the place where you were 20 years ago, where I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, like it doesn't, because it's like, well, how, like the film goes into like a lot more of the Predator lore, which never really been touched on in movies before, or at least not that much, which is cool in of itself. And obviously you've got predators talking to each other in their language, in the language of the outer. So it's all subtitled, obviously, but it's just I think that's why it's surprising, because it's like they went, no, we can kind of do more with it. And I guess it's more plausible than, say, trying to do that with like the xenomorphs, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like the Yauta are much more like expressive, so you can actually get away with some of this stuff, or they can be made more expressive, which they are in the film. But yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, really, really different.
So with the expressive emotional journey that you've been on with the new young Predator, is it still kind of like good cohesion with the first films? Does it all fall into line and make sense as one expanded universe?
They're kind of distinct. I mean, it does in this, like, there's nothing in this film that you look at and go, well, that just has no basis in what we've seen before on film. But equally, it takes place, I think it's like, I don't know exactly, but it seems to be many hundreds, if not thousands of years after the first Predator film. And it takes place on the Yauta Prime, like their home planet, basically, and then on another planet as well. So it takes place in those two places. So they're not doing anything like that you would say, no, you can't do that because, you've kind of retconned some things. But they've distinctly pushed it so far out in terms of timing that they can kind of play around with it a bit. And, they're showing a lot of things like Yauta Prime, the Predator homeworld that we've never seen. So, they're just kind of expanding on it a bit. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do next, actually, because there's a lot of directions they could take, the franchise. And I think Trachtenberg said that he's got an idea he really wants to do for a third film. So it'd be interesting to see if that's then even more different to this one. But yeah, this is a strange film, but in a good way.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm not going to rush to the cinema to watch it because I don't really cinema, but I'll keep it on the list of things to watch when it
keep it on the list
arrives at home.
When it pops out. Yeah.
Tell me then, because I wasn't supposed to do that little bit of sidetracking, but I couldn't help myself. Right. Let's let some people trickle in before you tell us more about Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about Ghost of Yotei?
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're 80% through. I can't remember. A couple of weeks ago, you were
halfway through.
Yeah, but you hated it, right?
Yeah, I hated it.
You were reluctantly playing it through to the end because you're like, "Oh, I spent this money, but I hate this game."
No,
but you've turned around.
I turned around on it. No, no, it's still really good. As it was a couple of weeks ago. But yes, I'm like in terms of main story, probably about 20% left. I'd say got a couple more things to do. And so I think I think by the time I finish it, I'll probably have done about maybe like 42 to 45 hours, something like that. I've seen people doing like 70, 90 hour playthroughs, and you could definitely do that in this, but that would be doing, I think, everything. That would be like platinuming the game, basically. And I'm not about that life, so I won't be doing that. But I will be finishing it, obviously. And actually did, and I don't really want to pick apart like the spoilers of this, but I did, they Sucker kind of said beforehand that they, maybe if you go and have a look in the world and you do certain things, the presence in one way or another of Jin Sakai would be felt in the world of Yotei. And I did the thing that kind of revealed that. And it's a really cool like tribute, I would say, to that story for people who wanted to, because Yotei is set hundreds of years after the events of Tsushima, so Jin is dead and gone. But it's very, very cool that they've put what they have put in the game, and it's very meaningful, I think, to people who like Tsushima. So that was a really, really big highlight of the game, actually, that whole bit, without giving too much away. So yeah, and the main story continues to be, it's really solid. Like, it's just very enjoyable. There's nothing in it that's novel or hugely twisty as such, but and it's just fun. Natsu's a fun character. I think she's an interesting character, so that kind of makes it more enjoyable than its structure might suggest.
When you say that she's fun and she's an interesting character, like what kind of personality traits are we talking here?
She's just really grumpy. She's a bit like you, if you existed in Hokkaido.
People love that. You're right.
Yeah, so she's just like really, really grumpy all the time, and kind of just almost apathetic to apathetic.
I feel like validated right now. This has been great.
Yeah, it's good. You don't really. I don't feel like you see enough grumpy protagonists. That have vendettas against the world. So she's fun in that way, because it's fun seeing characters that just don't really care, or just get kind of angry at the smallest things, or grumpy at the smallest thing. So yeah, she's fun in that way. She's got a lot more personality than Jin did, I'll say that.
Afternoon, Highway 76. Evening, everybody that is on Twitch and YouTube and anywhere else who are watching afterwards. I have a question, Luke, about Yotei being like a relatively long game. So I've been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 16, and it's made me ever so conscious of pacing issues in games and the way they handle the lulls that are inevitable in a kind of lengthy story. How are you finding that? Like, does it have big kind of climatic moments, or is it fairly even keeled?
It does. Yeah, it does have big climactic moments. I think there are parts where you can see that they've they've like contrived something to extend the story out a bit more. Not hours and hours worth, but like certain plot events unfold in a way where you're like, okay, I thought I was going to do X now, and actually I've got to do something else before I do X. So they do a couple of those, but nothing so egregious that you're just like, well, this is ridiculous, there's good kind of tension, and there's good climactic moments. They do edge it along a bit longer than I might like it, but it's not a huge deal. It's not like 16, like Final Fantasy 16, which does.
16 has I've been playing this for a long time. Obviously, it's been out for a long time. I've been playing it for a long time. I didn't play the PlayStation version when it came out there, but I got it when it came out on PC, and I have played it on and off since then without getting to the end of it. It shocks me when I look at Steam when it's like you're only 30 hours into this or whatever, and I don't believe it because it feels like I'm 800 hours into it. And it's got these moments that are like, wow, this is incredible shit that's going on my screen. Has been going on for about 20-30 minutes too long, but it is impressive. And then because like the cadence of a game like this, you know that after a big spectacle, it's got to spend a little bit of time piecing things together and setting up the next one. But nothing prepares me for the way that it does it. And each time something like that happens and it has its big moments, you then get like no less than 3 hours of running around a village talking to people about bakery or something, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this.
It's such a come down, isn't it? After some of the icon battles, basically, are just so like probably some of the best boss battles I've had like this gen. Like they are genuinely. There's like 2 or 3 in particular. I can remember just being like kind of agape, looking at the screen and seeing what's going on. And they're like big kind of emotional
story beats as well,
story beats as well, And then as you say, like the come down is really dramatic afterwards because you're like, okay, well, like you can't, like I think Square Enix think, well, someone's had a high that's so high, we've got to bring them down, which is true, but they really bring you down for hours afterwards before you build up to the next one.
Spread some salt in the wounds and like,
just to treat that one, you've got to wait 4 hours for the next one now. So I agree with that. Yeah, Yotai's not like that. It's much better. I mean, to be fair to Yotai, it doesn't by its nature have the highs of like the icon boss battles, right? Because they're just ludicrous. But it does have a very consistent level of enjoyability, so.
Fair dues. Give me another one. You've played more than that.
I'm trying to think actually whether I have, because I've kind of like squeezed my games down to Yotai and Arc Raiders, right? Like that's the other kind of big one, which is actually siphoned away a lot of the time I would have used on other things, which is very rare for me.
In that case, because we've got a little bit of time to fill, there's not like loads of news stories or anything, and I'm curious. So you've played Yotai, you've played, oh shit, I've already forgotten the first one that you started with. You played the Predator movie, and you've been playing Arc Raiders. So typically when you're juggling an array of games, there's like 100 things to choose. Yotai is obviously a fairly lengthy campaign. You try and keep one of those on the go at once, or you bounce between loads of things, or how do you play it?
I try and keep at least one like narrative big blockbustery game going at any one time, and then I'll usually dip into other games. But for example, like I really wanted to play recently The Outer Worlds 2, which obviously came out, but I've not touched it because there's so little point getting into that while I've still got Yotai, and that will kind of be the thing that replaces Yotai, I would think, after. So, like, another one, I've got Dispatch, on Steam. Really can't wait to get into that, but I don't want to get into it until... And I mean, that's an easier game almost to get in, like, in between games because it's episodic. So it would be a really good one, but I don't like having too many games that are very narrative focused on the go at once because I think sometimes it undermines the impact of narrative. So, but... Yeah,
I don't disagree. I'm the same with Dispatch. I want, if it's episodic, I want the last episode to be available before I start playing. So I'm okay waiting on that one. But
smash through it, yeah. But, well, you finally? Well, you've done Hades, right? Hades 2.
I did Hades 2.
You finished Hades 2.
I finished Hades 2, but there is epilogue content, right? So I've rolled credits on Hades 2. Yeah. But there are more things that I could go and do. Should I feel so inclined, which I will at some point, but at the moment that's just that's gone for the time being. I was disappointed to find out that they've actually, after the fact, tweaked the ending as well.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really know what to do about that because I've already played through it, so I can't. I have to do the whole game again to see what you've changed. I don't know. I don't really understand because they weren't supposed to. It wasn't part of the plan. Typically, their intent for it was once release candidate, once it actually came out. Just patches from there to smooth things off that go wrong rather than bringing any new content or anything. But they've changed the ending. So I don't know. I might have to do that again at some point. So Hades 2 was a little while ago, though, a couple of weeks ago. I've been massively sidetracked because I decided there's so many games to play that I should try and make some myself. So I've spent the last couple of weeks just dicking around with Unity and learning with intent to make things for myself, which I actually am really enjoying in its own right. So I get told by my wife, like, no, you have to have a break, go and do something fun, play some games. And I'm like, no, this might not look fun, but it actually is fun. I'm having a good time, so don't worry about it. And I will probably sink a lot of time into that if all goes according to plan, because I'm enjoying it. But I have been playing Arc Raiders as well. So only a little bit, only today. And I've not played it as much as you. You've done, Steam said you played it for like 15 hours, is that right?
Yeah, I've clipped probably about 17, 18 now. Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's a lot. We've got people in the Discord that have played it for like 90 hours already, which is wild. I don't know how you fit 90 hours into the time frame that's been out, but...
I keep seeing that as well, because obviously I'll load the game and the Discord overlay comes up in the top left to tell you who is in the game. And there'll be people like... And obviously it tells you as well how long they've been in the game for that session, and I'll load it up, of thinking, oh yeah, I might fit an hour in, hopefully, and there'll be people in there that have, 6 hours 42 minutes, it's still in it, right? So I'm just like, well, I can't compete with that. I can't catch up to those numbers. It's just crazy. So but I've played it for me, what I would consider quite a while.
So, tell me about it, because I've played it. I didn't want to buy it, right? We've spoken about it on previous weeks, and I've said that game doesn't particularly appeal to me, the whole extraction shooter thing. I don't really understand. Not so much I don't understand, but it's not, not gripping for me. I'm not pulled towards it, but so many people in the community were on it that I kind of had to be involved and play with people, because
peer pressure.
That's part of the fun. I was peer pressured. Yeah, you could say that. Pressure. So I picked it up. I jumped into it, and I'm still in the same place as before I played it, where I don't really get it. But tell me about it. Tell me about your time with Ark.
Yeah, I mean, I've really, really enjoyed it so far. I have very limited experience with extraction shooters, but I did really enjoy, and I played quite a bit of in the Division when you could go to the Dark Zone, which effectively it's a sort of a piece of the progenitor of extraction shooters. Anyway, it's very similar in concept. And I remember playing that at the time and thinking, oh, this is really enjoyable. Like, it's very tense. And I think for some people, the tension element is kind of the thing that they really don't like, because it almost feels like there's so much on the line every game that you can't kind of enjoy it. But I play a lot of horror games, so I always enjoy the tenseness of stuff, right? Like, so I had a feeling I would like Arc Raiders, because every bit I didn't play any of the bases or anything, but every bit of media that I saw for it, I really loved the stylization of it. I loved the world. And it, visually looked great, and the sound design I always thought sounded very good from the videos I saw. So I was kind of very willing to give it a chance. And it hooked me pretty quickly. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think for some people, like, they will just bounce. And I don't know if you'll be one of those, but like, people just bounce off it, which is completely fine, because I think, they're not, extraction shooters aren't for everyone. But for me, like, the tension of every round, like having stakes for everything is really nice. And I think Ark's good because it balances, like, there are stakes for every round, but it's much more player friendly, I think, than a lot of extraction shooters, just by virtue of stuff like, that you can do a round with free loadouts, for example. So you don't feel like you're risking that much, and you can take more risks in the game. And I've played, I'd say maybe 10 of these, like 17 hours I've played solo. And I really enjoy it solo, because the vibe in solo games is just totally different to the vibe you get in like a trio.
That was my assumption, because I played it today in a trio. And my assumption was that if you're in a team of 3, you're going to attack anybody that you see, right? Whereas if you're on your own,
basically shoot
stakes
on
are different.
Yeah. Yeah, in the solo one, by and large, 95% of players are very friendly, and it's much more collaborative, I would say. Like, you're all trying to, for the most part, work together and just get the loot you can and get out. And
So you're friendly. Your go-to is
I'm very
like not shoot
friendly.
first.
Yeah, never shoot. I did turn evil for one game where I actually I was a bit bored because I was waiting for some people to extract on Damn Battlegrounds, which is the first map, and I was on a rooftop overlooking one of the extraction points, and I could see this guy really struggling to avoid 2 arc. I think it was 2 wasps. And he managed to hide, and then I remembered I've got lure grenades in my quick use, so I chucked one down right, literally like above his head, and of course the wasps were just kind of straight to him, and I just saw him just die almost instantly because he just couldn't deal with it. So that was the only time I was evil. Any other time than that, I'm very friendly. But the solo mode seems to encourage friendly people. But I have found people who just like shoot on sight in that mode as well. It's just much rarer than the trios. So I don't know what do you like. What issues do you have with it so far?
Do you like battle royale games?
Not really.
So what I find in battle royale games is I don't like the pacing of them because you spend a lot of time. Potentially, you can just go in and die quickly or whatever, but you can spend a long time running around picking shit up, get into an encounter after a lot of kind of boring downtime, and then you die and it's over. Arc can do that, so it can have that battle royale pacing, right? You can land and you can run around for a bit, pick up some crap. I don't really know what I'm picking up. This is part of the problem. I don't really know what I'm picking up, and then you get an encounter with other players, and it's either over or it's not. And that pacing, I don't feel good about when I'm playing. Because if it goes badly, then it's like, oh, what did I just run around for 20 minutes for? However long it takes, it feels like 20 minutes. And if it goes well, I don't know. It never goes well. I'm not very good at shooting stuff. So I don't know. I was asking questions. I was playing it with Amin and Joe, right? Joe's got like 60, 70 hours in it. He knows what he's doing. And Amin's maxed out all of the stuff that you can craft, all the workbenches and things. So he knows what he's doing, and I don't. And I'm asking, like, hey, I can see it. We've landed. We're picking stuff up. Our intent is to get some stuff and leave. But what's happening? What can I expect to happen over time within this round? Like, what's the impetus to move? What's going on? You got like a timer of 30 minutes, whatever it says. Does the map get progressively more dangerous? Is there like a place that I need to be, or am I literally just going into any old building and looting, stripping the lockers of parts and then leaving? Maybe seeing other players, maybe not. Like, I don't get it, and I have only played it this afternoon. So I've done 2 or 3 rounds. 2 of the rounds we got some crap and we extracted successfully. One of them we died and it wasn't my fault. And yeah, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get why I'm doing it.
Yeah, I think it's I think the whole experience, like, I mean, obviously the aim of the game is to get in and extract and pick stuff up and get out, right? And you're picking stuff up so you can craft and buy and upgrade better stuff effectively. That's what you're doing. And obviously Arc takes that a bit further because you also get XP, there's quests you can do, and then you can level up your character, and you actually get a permanent progression tree as well, so you can upgrade your stats. But I think the whole fun of it is not too dissimilar to something like, a bit of an odd comparison, but like Sea of Thieves, right? Where it's like the fun is like the emergent gameplay that happens while you're going about your business.
Yeah.
So the fun is, we've been spotted by some Arc, we've got to get away, or we've got to take them down, and then there's players over there, what do we do? And what impact the players have on our game, and that sort of stuff. Like, that's the experience of it, and that's where the fun comes from. And then for me, it's also the tension of, well, will I extract or won't I extract as well? So, will I be successful? in this round. And I think I much prefer that to Battle Royale, because actually in something like this, you can actually you can win, quote unquote, far more often than you do on Battle Royale. Battle Royale, you have to be the last one standing. So this, if I want to go in and I just want to go, okay, I spawn here, like on the edge of the map, let's say, and I just want to explore this area, and then I want to go and extract over here, I can do that. Now, obviously, there might be some things that, pop up in between all that. It might not be as smooth as that, but it's nice to be able to do that in a game and not have to be like super sweaty in it. Do you know what I mean? And like be able to outgun everyone. So, yeah, I think that's the experience of it. It's like just the emergent, the fun of it is what happens run to run, right? The emergent stuff. So, but I think you only find that out the more you play it, like when you have more of those moments and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
It seems,
but you might have loads of those and just not like it. So,
well, I might. I'm trying to see like all the moving pieces to get an understanding of what can happen in a run to make it kind of spicy. I think I just I need to play it more, because I've done 3 rounds of it and it's not got his hooks into me yet. But Joe, who's played it for 70 hours now, was saying the same thing a week ago. Played it a bit more, and then something kind of fell into place and made it wild fun, I'm assuming. So he's playing it right now still, so it must be good. Yeah, but it's like I'm really enjoying it, but it's definitely not for everyone. It's an experience that's quite unique in a sense. So you may click with it, but you might not. Because it is so unique. So I don't know, but play some more of it. Right.
It also helps when you figure out like what you're losing. What do I need to upgrade something?
Yeah,
I want to upgrade.
That'll make a
so
massive difference.
Yeah,
because for me at the moment, you talk about like the stakes of it, or what makes it interesting. So knowing what you've got, the value of it, and whether you're going to escape or not is kind of crucial to those encounters being fun, I think. And because I have no understanding, and because I'm not particularly good at paying attention, so I've probably got less understanding than I should have. I'm just like, I don't care about the stuff that I've got and if I live or die, which probably does take away a lot of the point of the game. So I kind of need to engage with it properly so that I understand the stakes, so that I can say like, oh shit, I've got something that's important to me and I actually want to get out now. Then it's probably a much different experience to where I am right now. I'm like, whatever. I just want something funny to happen. It's how I'm playing it at the moment. I'm just running around like, come on, I want something funny to happen. Yeah. Okay, so I'll keep on going with it, but it does run smooth, looks nice. Digital Foundry have done a little piece on it. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game that doesn't have our beautiful stutter that we're so familiar with, but also doesn't use most of the signature features of Unreal Engine. You're a bit of a connoisseur of the nanite and lumen and ray tracing. How do you feel about the visual presentation of Arc?
It's really nice. I mean, they've got fantastic art, which always helps, but I think visually it's very impressive. Like, there's great scale across the map. Lighting's really nice. They do have ray tracing in it, but it's their own implementation rather than, as you say, they're not using Lumen. And I think like the level of detail, particularly for how big the maps are and how much stuff is going on, is really quite impressive. So I think it's really nice. It's a bit of a damning statement on Unreal that they're using UE5, and to get it to run as smoothly and as performant as it does, they basically stripped out all of the feature set of Unreal Engine. Like all of the signature features of UE5 are not in the game, which is why it doesn't stutter. Really, why it performs so well. But it's a really good looking game, and like just getting pretty rock solid frame rates no matter what is happening on screen.
It's fun for me because whenever people have, there's been this discourse around Unreal Engine 5 that it's a disaster. If you're using that, your game's not going to run. And I've kind of always said like, you can make an Unreal Engine 5 game that will run on a mobile game. It's very dependent on which boxes you tick and which features you use. And this has kind of come out and proven that. So that's nice, but only kind of intensify the looking glass as people see an Unreal Engine 5 game and now start picking apart which features it should or should not have used to make it run better or worse. So it'll go from shouldn't have used that engine to shouldn't have used Nanite, I would think will be the conversation going forwards. But
plus, you'll have ignorant people as well that will just say, well, how come Arc runs so well and this game doesn't? And they won't realise it's because, you know, this game's using Lumen and Nanite and all of those things.
Even then, like with... So perhaps there is some ignorance there, but it's also fair, right? Like ultimately, you shouldn't need to, as a consumer or whatever, as a player, you shouldn't need to care what features of the engine are in use and which ones aren't. You just want the game to work nicely. So they're not wrong in that sense. Yeah. I quite like the way that it looks. I got the pleasure of playing in an electromagnetic storm, which fortunately includes rain.
Oh.
So that enhanced the experience for me. And if they can keep doing kind of wacky events to make it more interesting to go in and do another run, then I'm in favour of that. Because how many maps are there that you've come across?
There are 4. I think there's a 5th one coming out next month. So I've played across all of the maps, not equally. The best looking map to me is Spaceport, which I think is the 3rd map you unlock. That's a really, really good looking map. But they're all very nice looking. But Spaceport is particularly beautiful, I think, in terms of its art and technical direction and stuff like that. So.
And are you in a position now, for the amount that you've played, where you drop on any one of those given maps and you know where you want to go and what you want to get?
For everything except Blue Gate, which is the last map you unlock. So I've only played that twice, so I don't quite know that one. But every other one, I'm kind of like, okay, I know exactly where I want to go. Here.
So, in terms of the emergent gameplay, so you made the comparison with Sea of Thieves, which was, I picked that up as well, as like kind of pioneer of emergent gameplay in a way. I'm sure there were other examples of games that they borrowed from and all the rest of it, but their whole concept was weird stuff is going to happen. You go off with a particular intent and you don't actually know what you'll come across. Other players were a very big part of that. In this one, though, what is there besides other players that can change from game to game? Or is it purely reliant on those kind of social interactions?
No, I mean, I think the big one is the arcs themselves, right? There are different map conditions as well that they can put in sometimes, like the electromagnetic storm stuff. I think they're bringing snowfall out as well next month, December, as a map condition. There's others. But the arc are the main thing, both in terms of, like, sometimes, well, all of the time you'll have arc, obviously, that are surveying the map. You have the snitch arc, which can find you and call in other arc, for example, and
call in Sebastian.
And they're very, like, the AI is exceptionally good in this game. Like, it's very, very clever. So they can be, difficult. There are bigger arcs as well. So you might have seen some, like the Leaper, the Bombardier.
And
sometimes
killed all of them.
I think
all of them have died so far, apart from Sebastian.
I don't think
Sebastian died.
And then sometimes they'll have like special arcs on the map. So the main one is the Harvester, I think. That's a really big one that spawns on down Battlegrounds, which guards like a red sand plain area. And there's a particular high loot area that it's kind of circling. So you can, if you wanted and you wanted to group up with people, you can go and actually try and take that on. But I think it requires like a lot of firepower. So, but that's the main thing. It's kind of those emergent elements of the arc and the players, and then how they kind of interact or coalesce on certain parts of the map. Those are the emergent bits of the game, really. And then obviously any stupid things that you might do in a team or whatever. But that's the long and short of it.
Well, I'm going to give it another go. I might even. It's weird because I've purely bought it for the sake of the social side with the community. So it's weird to say I might go and jump in solos to see what happens. But it does sound like in some ways the game benefits from that.
Yeah, it does. You might that's how I started it. I didn't play any duos or trios until maybe 7 hours in. I was purely playing solo, and I think that's how I knew that I liked the game, because I was just like, well, if this is fun, a trio is going to be chaos. It's going to be even more fun than this. So yeah, see how you go with some solos.
Okay, I might, if I'm having a little pause from my development learning. Right. What else have we got? What are the topics for the week? Grand Theft Auto 6 was delayed.
It was.
Just gonna stare like I don't know what you can really say about that. Yes, it was. But it's you know, delayed to around the anniversary of Halo, so painful for them and anybody else that had November plans. 17th, I think.
19th.
19th, yes. No, it's 19th.
3 days after my birthday. 3 days after my birthday, that one. So a nice little birthday present from Rockstar.
It's not all about you, Luke. It's not for your birthday. It's for everybody else.
Well, I like to think so. It makes my birthday better, or it will next year. Yeah, I mean, it was delayed. I mean, there's no real surprises there. It's Rockstar.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. I've just seen something absolutely disgusting, and I'm actually really upset. James has just said in chat that Final Fantasy 14. You know, I don't like crossover events in games that are supposed to take their own lore seriously. Yeah, this is my stance. Like, I never like it. Final Fantasy 14 had a Fall Guys event.
I really like Fall Guys, but I don't like Final Fantasy 14. So
that's fair, but Final Fantasy generally. Oh no, I'm really upset by this. I know that it's had its fair like a number of crossovers already that don't necessarily make a heap of sense, but if you can't take your own game seriously, I can't take it seriously. I'm not going to invest hours into that freaking Fall Guys event. Come on, it's fine for Fortnite. Oh, you just put on stupid costumes and run down an obstacle course.
The obstacle course, yeah.
And it's probably better than Fall Guys, to be fair, but I'm upset by this. James, you've upset me. I'm not playing. I was so close to jumping into Final Fantasy 14 with you, and then you come out and tell me this. It's not your fault because you didn't do the collaboration, but I wish I didn't know about it. I'm upset. Luke, carry on. GTA 6.
Yeah, no crossover events there yet, but that's because it's been delayed. So yeah, I don't know how many delays this is now. 2, 3.
I don't know.
Like that. Yeah, there's been a few. Yeah, unsurprising. Makes it very awkward, I think, for a number of games that had sort of targeted like fall to the end of 26 very broadly.
Yeah. I mean, most games avoid November anyway, right? Because it's Call of Duty month historically. So
exactly.
Busy.
Yeah. So it's never, usually people get out of the way of that. And now they're going to have to, I mean, provided it's not delayed again, which, you know, I think there is possible, although somewhat unlikely, because the only place it would go would be to the following year at that point. And I think there would be genuine sort of uproar about that having been delayed twice already or 3 times already. So it's going to be really interesting to see the release cadence around that time. I mean, you've got COD, as you say, that always comes out around then. Maybe that'll have to come out earlier. I think Wolverine was targeting fall 26. Microsoft obviously themselves have not just COD but Halo, Gears, all scheduled for next year. Fable, some of those are going to be earlier in the year, I'm sure, but I'm sure they had some that were going to hit around that time, and I'm sure Nintendo will have some stuff as well. So I don't know what happens to those games. Like, do they get pushed? Do they get moved up if possible, or do they get pushed to the next year? I don't know.
What about, do you think it makes any difference to the kind of hardware roadmap, the console releases and so on? Do you think they start looking at it going, oh, maybe our new console's ready, maybe this timing is bad, or do they just carry on as is?
I think they'll carry on as is because I don't think any console's releasing next year. Like even at the end of next year, I don't think, if you look at PlayStation, 27 is much more likely because they want to keep the PS5 going. And then for Xbox, I'm sure they'd like to start earlier, but equally, I think there's so much we don't know about that platform as to how it will function next gen and how they want the interface to look and all that.
This isn't fair, but I'm curious, right? If you had to guess, you've already got the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series version of GTA 6. You own them both. How much do you think it'll cost to get the next gen version like a year later?
Of GTA 6?
Yeah.
Ooh. In pounds, I reckon that's the point we'll start seeing
No upgrade path though. You're going full price basically. Like
Full
they're not
price,
doing any kind of like cross buy. You own this kind of niceness going on with GTA.
What's
Take-Two.
the highest price? Yeah, what's the highest price of a game now in the UK? Is it 70? 69.99? I think it is. I think it's 70. So I think that could be the first like 79.99 game.
Wasn't Mario Kart more expensive?
I can't remember if that was.
Might be thinking American prices,
yeah. Yeah, you might be. I think in the UK that was 70 quid. Mario Kart, that was one of the big ones. But yeah, I could see a next gen GTA 6 being 70 or something.
No £10 upgrade path for us.
No, none for you, says Rockstar. But yeah, so I mean there's still, I guess, some question marks about how much it will be on launch for these consoles, but I don't think they'll price it higher than 70 just because they know that they're going to sell a ridiculous amount of copies pretty quickly, and I don't think they'll want to do anything to jeopardize that would be, outwardly aggressive towards consumers, I think, like that. So
scraping the barrel for questions and conversation there, because what can you say? GTA 6 has been delayed. It's very matter of fact and dry, isn't it? Yeah, it's coming out in November.
Are you gonna pick it up?
I don't know.
Are you gonna get it?
I haven't played 5 yet.
Oh God!
And I've bought 5 twice. It's not entirely my fault that I haven't played it.
Is it going to be like Pillars 1 and 2, where you have, you need to play those before Avowed?
No, to be fair, I don't think GTA works like that at all. Like I could just jump into 6 without doing them. But so I got 5 and had issues with the Rockstar launcher. I got it on PC and I had issues where it wouldn't let me play it. And I ended up getting it twice and still couldn't play it. And I fixed those issues to get Red Dead Redemption 2 working. It took some doing. Right. It took some negotiation with their customer services and all the rest of it, because it needed to be unlinked from some foreign account that wasn't mine, because it was stolen. I eventually did that. I got Red Dead Redemption 2 working, so in theory I could go back and play GTA 5, but it means that I don't have much of a tie to the franchise at all. I used to play GTA 3 and San Andreas and just play for chaos sake, never actually progress through them in any meaningful way, because the way those games worked, they were quite punishing when you got killed or arrested, right? Hospitalized or arrested. So you just didn't save the game, which meant that I never moved forwards in the game, because you just go on a chaos spree, you end up getting arrested or hospitalized, and then you turn the PlayStation off and you do it again next time. So never got anywhere with them. Didn't really do 4, never touched 5, so I have no real affinity with it. But it is like this technical showpiece that I want to just explore. So I don't really care about it as a game, but I care about it as
a tech.
Like a demo almost of what's possible, because that's what you expect from Rockstar. So yeah. Do you enjoy them? Are you into them as games?
Yeah, I mean, I am, but like on like I have a very sort of love-hate relationship with Rockstar, because I think so much of what they do is fantastic, right? Like, just as you say, like their tech, is unbelievable, and that's kind of what you get when you have effectively an unlimited budget and unlimited time to make this stuff. And I think often their stories are very compelling, and the worlds are very interesting. What I don't like about a lot of Rockstar games is their moment-to-moment gameplay. I don't think it's particularly fun, or I don't derive like a great deal of enjoyment from them. Sometimes I do. It just depends on what's going on. So, like Red Dead 2, for example, I loved the story of that and the journey and the world and stuff, but I just hated the gunplay, and the mission design particularly is so restrictive in those games. And so, it kind of came out as like that was like decent, when I finished it. It wasn't like, oh, that was life-changing as a game. So I'm hoping, at least for GTA 6, that they tighten some of that up in terms of gunplay and also mission design, and make it a bit more open-ended and a bit more interesting. I don't know if they will. But and it's kind of been like that for prior GTA games. So I mostly enjoyed 5. I really did not like 4 at all. really liked 3. And then my favorite was Vice City back in the day, and I really enjoyed San Andreas as well. So like this, like it's kind of up and down with them. So obviously I will get this because, as you say, as a tech showcase, it'll be incredible, and I'm sure the story will be good, and the world will be amazing to be in. But it's not as if I'm like, I can't wait to go shooty bang bang in it.
What's a little bit strange for me is the only GTA game that I've made significant progress in, that I've got to the end of, is Saints Row.
Saints Row, okay.
Saints Row. I've done multiple of those, and they're clearly, like, as a product, one, they're a blatant copy, like it's almost plagiarism, and two, they're inferior in most ways, but they did address those particular issues with progress and wanting to like carry on after dying or whatever. It wasn't as penalizing on that, and the gunplay was more fun for the moment to moment on the missions. So it's weird because I can absolutely recognize that Saints Row wasn't as good as Grand Theft Auto, but I finished Saints Row and Saints Row 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I'm kind of in the same boat, because Saints Row 3 I played for like 80, 90 hours. Like I absolutely loved it because it's so stupid and fun. Like everything about it, like everything about the gameplay moment to moment for that game, for me, was really fun because it's so over the top, and it leans into it leans into the things you would do on GTA when you're not doing the main story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really, really enjoyed those games. Like 3 in particular, I loved. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what GTA is like. I'm sure it'll be technically impressive, not anything else.
Indeed. Okay. In that case, I think, I don't know, that was the topics for the day. So unless anyone throws anything wild in, we might be moving on to the questions in a second. Which makes it quite a short one for today, but that's better than a no one, right? So it's all good. Got anything else?
We had a bit of news. We had a bit of news for Mass Effect. They're working on it.
No, they didn't come out and say that, did they? Was that what we got for? Because it was the release anniversary for N7.
Yeah. So they just said they're committed to it. They're kind of heads down with it. I think there was a small ARG in it that people managed to find a bit of artwork that seems to take place in the time period, or
did you like Andromeda?
Time period of 3. No.
Did you play it towards launch when it was a disaster, or did you play it when it was kind of fixed up?
I played it both times, but I played it mostly when it was towards launch. I did go back to it when they started fixing stuff, but I think it was like a really difficult task of a game, because they'd already come off the kind of disappointment that Mass Effect 3 had in terms of how it ended and the backlash they got for it. And so they almost immediately needed it to be like as good as 1, 2, and 3 were, in like 3 ending excluded, like as they were, but more narratively satisfying. And it just wasn't like, and clearly they had issues developing that game. So I didn't jive with it at all. Like I just didn't find it super interesting, and they needed to leave more time, more time to pass before they did another one. Did you play it at launch as well?
I played it at launch, and I think you start on like a space station or a spaceship. I can't remember which, and it didn't load in, so it was just fucked.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't get far in it.
Yeah.
But
it's not great. But yes, they confirmed they're working on it basically, and that they're doing the show.
That's not like nothing there, right? Because EA have obviously been acquired. BioWare have had some trouble with the Dragon Age Inquisition launch. Inquisition Veilguard launch happened and was kind of mixed in its response, and I think the studio suffered a bit for it on the commercials side of it. So I guess actually it's not trivial or insignificant that they come out and said, actually, we are still allowed to make this game.
Yeah.
Do you have high hopes for it?
I don't know, because I think there's they clearly announced it way too early, right? Like it's a game like I can't even remember when they announced it, maybe 3-4 years ago, and it seems like they are well away from releasing it. You know, it's probably another 3-4 years before it actually sees the light of day, if it does. I just think there is, even if it's a good game, there's so much expectation on it and scrutiny about, you know, what will it deliver and where will it be set and what will the story be like, and people will constantly compare it to the original trilogy, which is fine because it was, you know, an amazing trilogy. But you saw a lot of it happen with Veilguard as well, where it was heavily nitpicked, I felt, for what it was. And obviously, it not being as commercially successful as EA hoped has put real pressure on BioWare now to go out and deliver a hit. And, you know, Mass Effect is really the most bankable IP, so they have to get it right. But I just don't know if that kind of environment lends itself to producing like a terrific game. You know, I don't know enough about the internal workings at BioWare at the minute to know if they've got it in the bag. You know, so
put it aside and made Jade Empire 2.
No, I would have loved
something
that.
Their own.
I would have loved that. Oh yeah, Jade Empire is great. Yeah, get you know, Star Wars license back. Make another Knights of the Old Republic. Do that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see it anyway.
One day, when we get there, if we live that long, my game might come out first.
yeah, probably will, to be fair.
Right. I think, Ben, we'll do some questions. A few have come in now. They're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 in chat at the moment, little arguments about whether it's good or bad. I must admit, I never got very far because hold A to ride horse beside someone did my head in quite quickly.
It's a 7 out of 10. It's a good game.
Ooh, fair. You probably upset FTW with that, but I have no argument. Yeah. So, FTW has asked, do either of you read comics? And if so, which comics are your favourite? You've got lots of collectible stuff. You must do comics as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I've read a lot of comics over the years. I don't read as many now because I don't have the time. But I do have a pretty massive. I really like. So I'm a really big fan of DC runs, and in particular, rather than the comics, I have a lot of the absolute editions of DC Comics. So they are like the hardcover, oversized form of the comic run, which are collated. So I've got a load of those and recent ones that I've read. So Absolute Free Jokers, really good. I read a couple of like All-Star Superman before the new Superman film came out. What else have I got? So, what else did I read recently or a couple of months ago? Can't remember now, actually. But those two stick in my mind pretty significantly, I would say. Long Halloween as well. That was another one. It was really, really good.
What's that?
It's a Batman one.
Batman. So, as a aficionado of the comics as well, then, do you think that the other mediums, the games and the films and things, do them justice, or are the comics the best way to indulge?
I just think they're different. Like, I think they're all great. You know, like I know that's a bit of a cop-out answer, but like it just depends on what you want. You know, a lot of the games and films around all of this stuff, particularly the DC stuff, has heavy inspiration from the comics, but it's not lifted one for one. You know, and maybe like some of the takes, like I haven't played this, but like, so for example, I have Absolute Batman Court of Owls, right? And like that, you know, that was kind of adopted into Gotham Knights, or elements of it. And I know there was some criticism about how that was adopted in the game compared to the comic, but it's an interpretation of that sort of stuff, and it's not meant to be like a one-for-one imitation of them. So so I think it just depends. As long, and I'm not one of those that's like, oh, you've got to respect the source material. I'm like, no, I think people should make these things their own. So I'm I'm pretty open to to a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I don't consider things to be sacrilegious or anything like that.
I don't think, I could be wrong because I don't read them, but I don't think the source material is necessarily that consistent anyway.
No, it's not. I mean, it's all over the place. So
yeah. So you can't really do it any harm by doing your own interpretations through other mediums either, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Except I watched, like a week and a half ago, I watched The Batman. So not recent, but the most recent of the films, the Robert, what's-his-face one.
Pattinson one.
Yeah.
Very careful what you say now, Asa, because we'll see.
I was fairly shocked by how bad it was.
Oh. Why? What was it? What was your issue with it?
It was just wank. I know that.
Yeah, but like specifically.
I can't be more specific than that. I can't. So
I mean, that's just not helpful criticism, is it?
Well,
this is...
do you know, like, it's quite a mainstream opinion, but the Christian Bale ones were quite good. Not necessarily the first one. I didn't enjoy everything about the first one, but they were quite good films.
I mean, they're great.
Quite hard to live up to. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of, I didn't expect the Batman to be as good as those.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was watching it, it was very just weird and cheesy. I don't know. I couldn't get on with it. I was surprised by multiple elements of it. I just didn't enjoy it at all. I can't even remember the film now. It's been a week and a half, and I know you want a more in-depth breakdown of this film, but
ironically, one of the reasons I really like the Batman is because it actually takes heavy inspiration from a couple of runs of different comics. So it's not in terms of plot beat, but in terms of Batman persona and personality and time periods, like in terms of Batman's, Bruce Wayne's journey as Batman. So Batman Year One, it takes massive inspiration from like a kind of young, very angry Bruce Wayne just starting out to be Batman, which is effectively what the film is, right? The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons I really liked it. And I don't know, Robert Pattinson surprised me because I thought he'd be shit, and I really liked him as a young Batman. I thought he was cool.
I don't like that he just walks around being bulletproof. That all came across
fine,
a bit
okay.
silly.
Yeah,
Shoot him in the face if he's
yeah.
It's the same for the John Wick films. It's just like, what is this? Come on.
Yeah.
Just getting shot all the time and being like, whatever, I've been shot. Wasn't my face, I'm all right.
Is there, what did you think of the villain in the
Wait
Batman?
a minute, I can't remember who the villain was. I'm thinking, oh no, he was all right. That was a
okay,
good.
so you like the villain? Yeah,
I like the villain, and actually, to be fair, I like most of the supporting cast on it. Like, they're mostly well executed, but not given a very good story, I feel. So it's not that I've got a problem, and same for like Batman, I guess. It's not that I have a problem with the actors or the portrayal of them per se. It just wasn't a very interesting film to watch. And it was very long.
I think I think like I think your mileage with it will depend also on, I guess, on how much you like the structure of the film, because the film is almost like it really heavily leans into, again, some of the Year One stuff about like the detective Bruce Wayne, right? Or detective Batman, like figuring out who is behind something. Less action, like less Christian Bale, Nolan, kind of bombastic stuff. And it is a long film. So, but I really like that because, again, it's something that we haven't really seen that much of in film or other media for Batman apart from comics.
I remember another thing.
Go on. Yeah.
The conversations with Gollum were like something out of an episode of EastEnders.
With who?
With Gollum, Andy Serkis, Alfred.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot Andy Serkis.
They were just really
Alfred,
clumsy conversations.
I mean, it was no Bale, Michael Caine. I'll give you that. That relationship was, not as
just the I hate you fake dad thing just felt so forced over and over. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Just deliver it.
But no, I get that.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that was the Batman. I hope that answered your question, FTW. Let's move on to the next one. I don't know. My thoughts on that are all over the place, but I just remember at the time coming away from it going, I thought that was going to be better than it was. But
We're all wrong sometimes, aren't we? So.
Well, I never have been. Just sometimes it takes a while for people to come around to my way of thinking. So, gaming with passion. I said, did Asa tell you how he was the cause of my death in Arc Raiders? Do you know what I mean? I was really tempted to, but I thought I'll spare your blushes and not share the story because it's a bit embarrassing for you if we're being honest. But since you've provoked it and prompted the answer, what happened on the run on Arc Raiders where we didn't win was this was actually my very first run of it. I was playing with Amin and with Joe with Huddle Shock, and there was one of them spidery ones. What are they? A leaper, something like that.
The big ones, the big.
No, it wasn't that big.
Are they tiny? They jump on your back.
No, not tiny either. It's bigger than a person. Bit too big to fit through a doorway, like through a garage door. What was it called? I mean, you can fill me in on this. It was like a strider or a leaper or I don't know. It was a walker. It was a walk. I'm a walker.
Oh, okay, fine.
Right. And we're going to extract. Nothing's happened. We've had a fairly boring game, right? We've got some items. I don't know what they are. My backpack is full. I can't carry any more. Don't know if it's good. Don't know if it's bad. Don't really care if I extract or not. But we're on our way to the extraction point. And they see one of these walkers, and Amin's like, oh, should we fight it? And I'm like, yeah, let's fight it. That sounds like fun. And the way that you're talking, it might be a bit of a challenge. So we could have some excitement here. And then he tells me gives me strict instruction to go and get in this little hovel. There's a tiny shelter with 2 garage doors, essentially. And he says, go and hide in there. And I'm like, okay, I'll go in there and see what this master strategy is. And it turns out the master strategy that Amin had was to shoot it once, hide in this little hovel, and then shoot it from there because it can't get through the doors. Right? And so this is why he's blaming me as the person that ruined it. I was like, I'm not here for this cowardly shit. Let's go outside. And then some other players came along and killed him. Right?
Right.
And I'm glad that I did that. Because hiding in a building that the machine can't get through the door on and just shooting it because it's too stupid to move around and won't shoot us back was not compelling to me. So yes, I have now told everybody how you died in my first ever game of Arc Raiders.
I mean, it does sound like that was your fault.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that it was, but once again,
for good reason.
I was right.
For good reason.
Give it time, and Amin will come around and go, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't have been hiding in that building. That wasn't stealth gameplay. Not really stealth gameplay. Painful discourse." But cheese gameplay for sure was what he was going for. Sometimes you have to hide to avoid instant death. Not me, Pete. I'm brave. And I don't mind the instant death because I don't understand the game. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know what I've got in my bag. So die, extract, it's all the same. Next question, please. Now that we have shared that. It is, wait. Did Asa tell you that he tried to decapitate me in real life? No, because that's not a thing that happened. This is Isla. And if I tried to decapitate her in real life, she would not be typing right now because she would have my head. She wouldn't be able to see the keyboard. There'd be no keys tapped. So no story to tell there. Next question, please. Best crisps, worst crisps. I'm eating Frazzles. Do you eat crisps? What are the best ones?
Oh, that's a big question. That Frazzles are very good, by the way. Frazzles are excellent. Good solid crisp. Which ones do I like? Back in the heyday, I really like Knick Knacks. The rib ones, I think they were. They were very good. I'm very partial to a McCoy's, the flame grilled steak ones. Excellent. What else?
You're recalling by rubbing the fake salt off your fingers. You're like,
yeah, I'm tasting it. I don't know. Pretty much all Walkers are good. Like I like pretty much every flavor of Walker. Like I don't think I've ever encountered a flavor of Walkers I don't like. Except maybe when they did that horrible tomato ketchup run. Do you remember that?
Stupid. I don't like Walkers ready salted, so that's a problem.
Oh, see, that's the best one. Of Walkers.
Both my kids eat them, and I'm like,
yeah, that's good.
You are.
The Walkers Max ones are good as well. They have a few good ones. I really like, and I can't remember what these are called. They're like a kind of poshy Italian one. They're like white with a red name, and they do like chorizo flavor or something like that. They're very good. And then there's like a million that I've eaten in like Japan that I don't know the names of, but just great. So yeah, big crisp fan.
Mine are real crisps. If you ever had those, they're literally called real crisps.
I think I have. Yeah,
they do some really good, like intense crisps. So those are the best ones. But I don't eat crisps very often. So it's been like literally years since I last had some of those, I think.
Yeah, they're
but if you see them, they're not like that widely distributed. So if you see them in like a pub or a food van or wherever you may come across them, they're worth the pickup because they are good crisps.
Like Walker's Sensations as well. They're good.
Pixel
like
Slapper.
Grown up more.
It is a gaming podcast where we refuse to talk about the delay of GTA 6 for 2 hours, or whatever else is going on. Oh, do you know what? PlayStation streaming is available on the portal now. Do you ever use any of the cloud streaming services? You use portable devices. Do you ever cloud stream like big games to them or not?
No, I sold my portal a while ago, actually.
No, I know, but you got a Lenovo,
but
like
yeah, I've got all that.
portable
but no,
device.
I mean, I might use it in the future, like if something is out that I had to specifically play on PlayStation that I would need to stream. Yeah, maybe in the future, but it's not. I don't like cloud gaming generally. Apart from GeForce Now, they're top tier, which is really good.
But do you? I mean, do you have an active subscription to that?
No.
No, just experience, and yeah, I agree that is
just experience
really damn good. It's funny because I hear chatter that Microsoft has improved an awful lot over the last month or so since they put the new quality settings and tied the better one behind Ultimate or whatever they've done. But
yeah, I think it's 1440p you can get on there now.
Yeah, and who knows what bit rate, and it's probably not touching what GeForce does, but it's potentially a marked improvement on what it was, and yet I don't think Microsoft have actually told anyone. That's the bit that's interesting there, because the only like official word on it that I've seen from Microsoft is a little underscored mark that says like our best tier is behind Game Pass Ultimate, but no word on what their best tier is or what that means, or the fact that they potentially improved it over the last month or so. The only way that it came out was it was like data mined. Someone was like, oh look, there's a line of code here that says that you can get this quality setting now, these 2 new quality settings. So that might be rolling out at some point. And Microsoft have kept completely stumped. Like they've not told anyone that potentially this is better than it was, which is a curious approach to trying to push that out to more people. But
sounds about right though, doesn't it? Microsoft's marketing prowess. Yeah, we'll upgrade our service pretty significantly. Natural benefit for everyone. Should we tell them? Nah.
No.
Leave that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. We pulled it back around to being a gaming podcast just for a moment, and now we'll go back to the usual. So this is FTW on behalf of Tom, although Tom has just shown up as well. You know what's coming. What's not to like this week?
Oh, what is not to like this week? I've had a pretty good week, so there's not much. Yeah. But when people, this is a very specific work one, but when there are people in this world who have to call and can't email. I don't like that. Like when people like need verbal communication to understand things or to talk through something that you've sent in written form. That's a no-go. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
But you're a lawyer, so better. That's like that's an actual problem, right? Because you need things recorded, surely.
Well, for calls.
But yeah, I mean, do you have those recorded? Because things that are said.
Oh no. You don't have calls recorded. You never, almost never.
Yeah, don't do that. No phone calls. Yeah, phone calls are not to like. I'll back you up on that one.
Yeah. I don't. In fact, you know, I don't even mind. I don't mind phone calls at all. It's just I get very frustrated at people who, it's like their default method of communication in a world where there are, to my mind, much easier methods that don't involve taking way more of my time than needs to be taken. So that's my issue. That's my issue.
Mine for this week, because I got disproportionately frustrated by Twitter today. There's so much bad shit and bad people on there that this shouldn't rank up in there at all as a negative thing. Like, it's really, really minor. Someone was just frustrated and they were venting a little bit. But someone on Twitter was complaining at OBS because their sponsored stream didn't work out for them. So they were like, OBS, you ruined this. How am I supposed to live my life and feed myself or whatever? And I was like, fucking, the sense of entitlement among some people is just outrageous. Like, OBS is free open source software that you don't have to use. Why are you moaning at them? They are enabling you to make a living. And that's not to like. Why are people like that? So I was frustrated to read somebody else's frustration on Twitter. That's mine for the week.
Lying, yeah, generally.
It's wild because you get so much entitlement around things that, like, it's the same for YouTube and Twitter and any platform, and all of these things that you couldn't stream without them, and you're not paying for them.
Yeah. But yeah, you've got like massive qualms with them. That yeah. It's pretty mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just weird to read. So that's my what's not to like this week is wild, misplaced senses of entitlement. And obviously there are more serious issues going on, but that's my answer. So the next one is hang about. Can't do it again. This one's from Tom, and it says, "Evening, chaps. What's not to like this week?" But I don't.
A double. I don't think I have another one.
I mean, I'm sure I could, but no, I don't.
Yeah, I could drag out more.
Future weeks ahead of us, we've got to try and save some.
Yeah.
Next one is up, and it says, "Totally accurate battle simulator." It is not a question. Have you played that?
I have not, but it looks very fun.
It's all right. It's an interesting little experiment. There's lots of like similar projects out and about where you can stick in whatever encounters you want to see take place in a browser or whatever, and have it play out and go, the gorilla beat the people or whatever it may be. This one's got a bit more structure to it, and it's quite neat. But I wouldn't rate it any better than just quite neat, like a little bit entertaining for a short time. Next one is, I own 5 copies of Minecraft across 4 platforms, and that's not even including that I can play it on an Xbox via Game Pass. Have you ever bought multiple copies of the same game? Have you got multiple copies of any games?
I don't think so, actually. It's not something that I do. The only one I can think of randomly is I've got 2 copies of Pokemon Blue, the Japanese version, because I bought one when I was in Japan, and then when I came back, I bought a set because I wanted all of them, and it had Pokemon Blue in it. So that's the only, and I was like, well, fuck it, like I'll just get that as well because I can sell one of them, but I didn't sell one of them, so I've just got 2 boxed copies of Pokemon Blue Japan. So that's it. But generally, like, even for like so for example, for things that I would expect myself to buy 2 copies of, like a game, say that like Returnal, for example, which I loved on PlayStation and finished it, and it came out on PC, and I was sure I was going to pick it up on PC as well, and I never did. So yeah, I don't tend to do that. But I don't know how many copies of, I don't know, what games do you like?
I don't like I hate games. How many copies of Hades? Well, see, that's a good example, actually, because it is more than one. There are a shocking number of games that I've got more than one copy of because I can't keep track of what I've got on different platforms. Yeah. So there will be games that I've never played, like GTA 5 we were talking about earlier. I got at least 2 copies of that. There'll be multiple games that I saw on one store and was like, oh, and then it came up somewhere else and I was like, oh, and I just pick them up and possibly never even played them on any platform. But I don't have any, like that Minecraft example where I've got as many as 5 copies of the same game, but 2 copies of the same game across many, many games. Yeah, because I'm an idiot and I can't keep track of things. So Patrick purchased Hades 3 times, but they're all digital, so you don't really own them. Well, in that case, if we're going to go with the don't really own them caveat, then none. I've got 2 copies of Final Fantasy 7 that I can see in front of me at the moment. Strange, but for some reason I've got a small stack of PlayStation games over there. And I used to have 2 copies of a few Dreamcast games, because I had Dreamcasts in 2 different locations, and it was just convenient to have multiple copies a long time ago. But yeah, next one, Painful Discourse. So, stealth gameplay. I don't think that was supposed to be a question, but I'm going to answer it with a firm no.
It's a firm yes from me.
Oh, we disagree on this one. We disagree. Were there any more questions beyond that? Or have we run through them? I think we might have run through them. Pixel Slapper, you've got all your versions of Phantasy Star, Dreamcast, GameCube, and Xbox. I wish I had played the GameCube one because that had some content that wasn't in the others. I think you can do it on the various emulators on PC now. You can get to the GameCube content, but I never did. Yeah, I like some Phantasy Star. Anyway, that were it. That were the questions, which means this was not actually that short. Fortunately, we managed to talk a little bit about Predator and Batman to pad it out, and it ended up being a full-length little podcast. Luke,
it's me.
We'll wrap up there. It is, isn't it? I thought that it was, but I had to check. When you're like a little uncertain, like it looks a bit like him, but
I think that's fair.
Just casually drop it in conversation to make sure. And you did respond, so it's all worked out. I am talking to Luke. Luke, round off. Say to people whatever you want to say to people.
Join the Discord. Go see Predator Badlands. That's it. Don't call me. Never call me. Pure text communication. Thank you very much.
Fair. Don't call me either. Also text. Discord is a good place to talk to me. Mm-hmm. And that is it. So yeah, like Luke said, do join the Discord if you are not already in there. Talk about some games, play some games, those kind of things. That's what it's all about there. And I will be... Where are we? Today must be Saturday. So I'll try and get some more streaming and stuff going this week, and Q&As are on Tuesday. The usual kind of stuff. You might still know where it is. So have a good evening, night, whatever you got ahead of you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.